like make something scary happen. Maybe for me, it would be like Saturday afternoon or something, just to test it out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
So,
Yeah, I'm the same.
alrighty, here we go. We are here. We are live.
All
Hoop de
right.
doo, you too. All right, let's get this is impromptu once again. I'm gonna put the thingy dingy in the chat for it to be passed along. Boom. All righty. Welcome, everybody. It's Monday night here. What time is it there, Stone?
It is 12:30 on the 1st of July,
Yeah,
2025.
6:30, 8:31 p.m. All right. So we've been kind of hanging out for a hot minute. Just kind of looking at those signs and numbers and synchronicities. And I never mentioned that I've been seeing a lot of single birds, just one bird on a lamppost, on a wire, flying in front of the car, hanging out on a tree or a mailbox, just one.
Yep, just one. So, like a watcher.
Yep. And all
Yep.
manner. It's not the same kind of bird. Blackbirds, songbirds, whatever you can think of. It's just been everywhere. So it was kind of odd. So
Okay.
yeah, hey, welcome to Aurical Stones. And you said you basically have the answers. It's like your Jeopardy. You're the spirit world's version of Jeopardy, right?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that's what I kind of feel like it is, right?
Yep.
So it's like you get your answers and before you get the question. So
Yeah,
I don't know
the telling bone.
right. And I think one of the things though too is that we had talked earlier, and I think that maybe somebody had mentioned that I was getting some things going to get ramped up, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh,
Um,
gosh, yeah.
but I don't know what that's going to look like. We don't
Some
know
of
what it's going
the
to look like. That's the big scary part.
the other day, one of the messages I got was, I don't even know where I wrote it down now. It's on one of these masses of paper somewhere. Arrival. Okay, so it was a planetary arrival and meta something. Is it? What was it? Meta. Can't remember. It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me. But metamorphosis. Metamorphosis. So I was like, oh, okay, so what are you trying to show me here? It's like, I don't know where half of these thoughts even arrive from. It doesn't feel like it's coming from me because I'm the one questioning where did that come from? I'm the one now looking for the answer to satisfy that query or that question that somewhere arrived in my brain.
Huh.
So it's like whatever that is leads me to like, okay, recognize the patterns. And today it's like this, this you wouldn't hear about it. Every time it fell on the equal numbers, like 11, 11, 11:22, 11:33, 11:44, 11:55, and then it went into like now we're at then we went out of balance for a bit, and then we went back into 12:20, 12:22, and so the messages went full circle, so each message, then I was looking at what was the subject we were talking about at that specific time that number showed up. So I wrote that topic down, okay? And if I didn't quite get it right, I heard it. And it's like when I'm I'm telling you this, it's almost like there's this frequency that's going on right here. I'm feeling something right here. It's like hard to explain, but there's something just standing next to me. I can feel a difference in the frequency in my space. Just letting
Hmm.
you know. And what's the time for that? So it's like these synchronicities are showing me a path. It's almost like um, I'm playing multiple roles at any one time, and I'm recognizing the signs. And it's not just coming from one source. It's not just, oh, Jesus, what was that? What the fuck was that? Okay, something just like, okay, I don't know what that was. That was right here on both sides. Okay, topic, getting back on topic. Not gonna let them stop me. Um, oh, 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 they're trying hard. Okay, what was the topic? Okay, no, they won. Okay, it's gone.
And that's kind of interesting that you just kind of went through that. I think that was a visual representation of we're giving you some information that you're not ready to share. And sometimes that's kind of what seems to happen, right?
It just tells me I'm on the right path. Then they didn't expect it. You know. Oh man. Okay, I'm having a
So,
drink.
what really grabbed the attention, I know you posted it on your one of your pages, was the image, and it had like the purple
Yeah,
cloud. It was like a purple cloud, and it was really pixelated. And then you took a picture and you showed me. It's like, well, this is what it's supposed to look like. I don't know what happened with that, but this is what it's the same view. And it
yeah.
was very normal with the road and the hill and the house and all that other kind of thing. But the other image had, it felt like it just had, it was less detail, it was more pixelated, but there
Yeah.
was seemed to be a lot more information in it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I when I first saw it, it was like, what am I looking at? What am I looking at? This is my backyard, my front, my it's I opened my curtain and it's right there, okay, and it's like, what am I looking at here? And that's the house down, and they've just cut all the trees down. Okay, they've just cut all the trees down that you couldn't see the house down the bottom. Okay, that was shaded. But I do know that there is a portal doorway on one side of me over here. I've watched it. I've seen it in action, and I've got photos of it. I'll find something. I'll even take a recent one for you. And I have watched since they cut the trees down. There is a change in the space around here. It was like something had blocked, those trees had blocked some sort of energy. And now with them not there, that whole basin down the, because I'm on top of the hill and it's down here. The whole basin now is like it's energized. It's like,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm seeing all sorts of weird stuff, flashes of light, both in the daytime on my footage and nighttime footage. I'll be sitting here in my location, it's pitch black when it's dark. There's no street lights, there's nothing anywhere. And but these are flashing lights. These are like coming in and they flash and then they've gone, and I'm like, I know I saw it because it caught my attention. I'm seeing things moving in the room. One of the things that I used to get was there was a presence that would show up, and whatever room I would move into, they would follow me. It would creak, the roof would creak, and I tested my theory. I went different parts of the house, different ways, and it followed me. So I got to recognize that pattern, that frequency. It's here too. So it arrived a couple of days ago, and it's pointing out that whatever room I'm going into, it's showing up too. I really do feel like there is a big presence about to show itself, and it won't just be to me. It's going to be for everyone. So,
And this
yeah,
is this kind of new though? This the communication feels it's not that it's you've not gotten communication before, but it's like a new, it has a
oh,
new
this is
resonance to it.
way more intense. This
Yeah.
is like, um, we know you're there, and now we're going to use your abilities. Now we're going to communicate through you, one way or another. We're coming. And I'm like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, whatever,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever, whatever. Just show up. Just show up. Just
Okay.
do it. I'm over it. Just do it. But it doesn't stop the fact that I know I'm seeing movement, shadow beings. I know I'm seeing orbs. I know I'm seeing flashes of light. I know I'm seeing weird shit moving around. So portals. That photo, when I mean, I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I had to push screen print as soon as I saw it. Boom, in case I lost it. I mean, it was like, what am I looking at? Because all I did was open up my security bay that shows me all the cameras on the property. I've had to put cameras on the property for my own awareness of the movement that's going on around me, not just in solid form. And Yeah, I turned it on. That's what showed up. I went, screen print, save, boom, that's it. And then I went back and I clicked on it, and it was back to the normal picture, the nighttime view that you see. So it jumped from night vision, day vision, night vision. It was 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It was daytime. So whatever that was, it couldn't have been a bird, because being daytime, I would have seen the feathers. I would have seen feathers. I've analysed what was in front of me, and I can see where the house is down the bottom and the trees. I know the landscape that's there. I can see a cloud within the white space going across the normal appearance of the sky, and then all of a sudden there's this like perfectly, whew, it almost looks like a hook, and I'm like, what am I looking at here? So
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know at this point, but because I'm aware of everything else that's down there and how the frequencies changed here, I'm now seeing this is a shift in the veil. That's what it looks like to me. This is what it appears to me at this point in time. It looks like it's a shift in the veil, and I've just been given the opportunity to see it. However it's shown itself, this is what I saw. This is what presented to me. So it may change in 5 minutes from now, but that's okay. This is where I'm at the moment. So yeah, what are you getting in the numbers?
Um, oh, do I have that? Okay. No, I was just kind of wondering because I know you said that I kind of was being silly, but I kind of said you were like you like a Jeopardy seer, Jeopardy intuitive. You get the answer. You get, yeah, right? You get the answer before and people ask you the question and you just read the answer right there. And you said you
Yeah,
make one up
I
every day.
know. Yeah, it's really weird. It's like
So I just asked the person in the chat, hey, you got any questions? Let's have it because you might be on that board that you created,
oh,
right?
okay, okay, all right. Let's have a go. Let's have a go at this. Let's have a
So
go
I
at
mean,
this.
I know, I mean, quite
Oh,
personally, some of the people that have been in our chat, and so it'll be interesting to see what comes up. Um,
yeah.
so
God, I'm just.
Krishna, let us know because you never do anything without permission.
That's right. That's right.
And
That's right.
so uh, one of the things though too is all of this activity, and these are things that I've pulled cards on, and I know we've had discussions off grid, if you will, about the intensity and how the intensity of encounters and energies and whatever information that you're going to be receiving, and some people aren't going to know what to do with it. It's going to be really hard to manage. So it's really important for people to
Jeez.
reach out and understand that this is really important to be able to feel like you are not crazy. Hey, okay, maybe we all are, but you know what I mean. It's like the powers that be will try to rattle you, and because of a lot of the predictive programming, this is going to be upsetting for people because all of a sudden you realize that things aren't what you thought they were. They aren't how
Oh,
and the way. You know what I mean? So I mean, even like you sent me the picture. You said, "Oh, look at the gravestone." It's like I don't see a grave. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I see that." Oh my God, it doesn't look like a gravestone. There's like a face in there, and then I looked down in the other spot and I saw it was a brooch, what I finally came up with. And then
yeah.
in the upper left, she goes, I don't know what that is. It's like, it looks like it's something that's spiraling, like a spiraling sun. And it had one thing off one end and off the other. It was a very classic,
So it was the spiral again.
yeah, it was like if you would imagine how they do those AI images of what you picture the solar system and they have the arms coming off of them. That's kind of what I saw in that little guy up over there. But I said, man, this is like, I gotta stop looking at this thing because there was just so much information in it. It's just like when I had taken that little short movie. I can't remember if I posted it on YouTube or not, where I was testing out a camera and I didn't play the sound on it because I was like really confused. This is not what I thought that this was going to be. These are not stars. These are not just a light in
Yeah,
the sky. This is not a two-dimensional thing. It's more like a multi-dimensional entity. And when I slowed the image down, not only did you could see like frame by frame, you could see the different shapes, but when it would have this blast, I noticed that the area around this light, if you will, it didn't like get out of the way it just changed shape. It just
yeah,
changed. And then I started looking at that, regardless of what the center point was doing, it was really complicated. I saw all kinds of stuff in there. So, yeah, I think where we're at is not what we've been told. And I'm not even sure
yeah,
if even the wisest of the wise can really explain it because most of the wisdom texts will tell you that, you know, God, source, whatever label you want to put on it, is unknowable.
yeah,
It's so complicated. We can't really like grasp it.
yeah,
I think the one thing that maybe we can all make sure that we don't do is fear it.
yeah. Exactly.
So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff I think we're all going to be seeing. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to ask the first question here because I kind of feel like that, we're kind of at a precipice for people starting to become more aware and more sensitive. And it's
Oh
not
yes.
the things around us are changing. I think we are coming into alignment with what's around us.
Yeah.
I don't think it's out there. I think it's in here is aligning. So how is this gonna really kind of affect
Okay. All right.
our
It,
trajectory, I guess, as a oh, I hate the word community. It's been so it takes you down a different head trail. But a collective, I like that word, collective, because we're here as a collection of beings, entities, or essences. So
yeah.
how is this what things that are manifesting? How is that going to be affecting us?
Yeah. Once upon a time, we all lived like this in harmony. Okay. What we perceive as harmony, right? It was because there was a level of the communication was telepathy, so you could hear another's thoughts. So everybody had to be polite. They had to be courteous, you know. And when the other thoughts started getting out of control, shit happens. It does. And this is where we're at. So we are aware of what we can be. And I mean, this was a multi species that we all lived here on this planet. You know, they haven't done this is like look at the different species of human, if you will, that is here. You know, that's not by accident. that's that is just what it is. Um and it's like it doesn't matter about the skin you're in at the end of the day. It's about the energy that we possess, the infinite knowledge and directions we can go. When we change the simple words that we're using, we change the whole dynamics of the spells that were out there. We're deprogramming the systems. And now we're if you changed your perception of what the veil meant to you, then the veil changes. So when you look at this, the dance of the seven veils, and each one comes off revealing something else, revealing a different color, each color representing the different dimensions. So now you're aware of all the dimensions, and what are you left with? You're left with your inner self, because you were inside all these different layers. Now you have been revealed. And I'm seeing that this is what's happening. We are being revealed. We are being, um, when I say that, it's like we recognize the frequencies. We recognize the bullshit. And we don't need to go down those paths anymore. We leave that to those that want to swim that way. But what we're looking at now is another level of growth factor, stepping back into using our abilities, reading the frequencies. You know, it's a communication on another level when you become aware that you are doing this, not just multi-purpose, but multi-dimensional. All right, and if we can do that, then we're getting a better idea of what they have been tapping into on feeding from us all that time. Now we take it back. Now we can step into a time where everybody who's got any aspect of abilities or even just remotely thinks about an ability, boom, they're going to enhance that level. I mean, this is the metamorphosis stage. This information the other day that, they're arriving, there's a metamorphosis that takes place beforehand out of the frequencies told us. The frequencies got to us before they arrive, if you know what I mean. So there's a wave ahead before the wave behind. Um, oh, mate, anyway, going back to it, going off track here. I've got the charters written up. I don't know who it's going to go for. I'm not sure, is the person in the audience, did you want a reading? Does anybody want a reading? Otherwise, I'm just going to do a metamorphosis read for right now. What's happening right now?
Well,
What this planet is doing.
Jason just popped in.
Hi, Jason.
That's Selena's friend.
Oh, yes. Hi, Jason.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so I'm just going to go through this. Now, some of the subjects that came up was the throat, the key, colours and portals, and the perception of veil. When we change the perception of veil, it lifts. Right. So that's pretty much where I'm at the moment. And these numbers are all representing another chapter for today, which is the night terrors, the stones, looking at the pictures that we've taken in the past and seeing that there's that much more information in them. So there's more being revealed to us at the moment. So we have to stay calm. At 12:20, I got crazy, paranoid, more more in right direction. So all of that, I don't know if that means I'm more going crazy or paranoid, or if that means those are of the past and we're moving forward, we're getting past all of those levels. I think it's more of we're getting past those levels because of the numbers that showed up. So, and then it was the questions. Okay, so we've gone back to the questions, the 1222. That was the day. That was what this message was about. This was about those questions. All right. I haven't looked at the questions. I don't know what there is. I don't know how many there are. So I'm just gonna at the moment they're on a page on my desktop, and I'm just going to do a read, and I'll just write down 1, 2, or 3, and then I will go and read that question, and then I'll give the answer. Okay, the interpretation. How's that sound? Something different?
Something very different. Very cool.
All right, and you are you going to read your cards for the same question? Do you need to know what the question is before you read the card, or can you do the reading first
I mean,
and
if you want
then?
to do, I mean, this is almost like a blend of this is a kind of a blend of multiple modalities along with remote viewing. You're given
Absolutely.
you're given the coordinates, right? Sometimes I'll do that. I'll pull like 3 or 4 cards out and I'll just lay them down. I was like, I have no idea what this is about, but okay, and walk away. And then I might come back to it the next day and go, oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense now. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
So it is kind of like that. And yeah, okay. So this is for number one. You want to go ahead?
Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. All right. I am holding my pendulum. I don't know how high I can hold it, so you can see it. Okay. All right. Hello, pendulum. Are you ready
Oof.
to play? You're nice and glowing today. Good to see you. All right. Can you show me a reading for number one? It's scanning, scanning. Oh, this is wider community. It's family. It's spinning quite wide. All right, now show me which one this applies to. All right, this one. All right, I will now write number one. Okay, X marks the spot. All right, and now I will do number two. This is a magnifying glass at one end, right? And this is the okay, and it's an elephant as well. So I turn it round so I get the best view, so the information is correct. That's how my brain works anyway. All right. Are we ready for number two? All right. Show me number two. Are you sure? Show me number 2.
Hmm.
All right, thank you. All right, we've got number 2. All right, I'll just do those 2 for the moment because I don't know how long we've got. All right, so for number 1, now I have rune, card, book, and message. So oh, that's interesting how that came, thank you. All right, so for number 1, I get man. Balanced partnership cooperation. I get 5 of swords. Conflict, betrayal, and hollow victory. And for book, I got breathing, patience. So then when I go to the question, well, no, I'll do this first. Okay, so what am I getting here? I'm getting, okay. Okay, so this is government. This is government. I'm seeing government on this. This is not a personal message. This is a bigger thing. This is okay. So the balance is not necessarily balance, and because of the crossover there that I'm seeing in the runes, that's showing me that there are several parties involved and they're all working as one. Alright, they're all working as one. They're aware of each move. The next one is conflict, betrayal, and hollow victory. So that's already set out. That's showing me that there's a war. It's not real. Hollow victory. There wouldn't be a hollow victory, would it? It would be a victory. So the hollow being an empty, so it's meaning it's an empty war, empty victory. So empty win. So they're already aware of what side is going to win. Hollow victory. So in the next one I get breathing patience. Well, I don't really like that one very much, but that's airborne. That's breathing. We're breathing in our air. So whatever is coming is going to affect the atmosphere around us. The air, the breathing, the patience. So when it says patience, that's telling me that there's going to be some form of sickness. It's not patience like you have to be patient with someone. It doesn't feel that way. It feels like it coincides with, it doesn't matter which way you read it. Patience means patience. And when you've got the breathing and patience, that's air breathers. So with these air breathers, there's something that's coming in the air, and the patience part just sort of means that there's going to be illness. That's how I see. To have a patient is someone who doesn't feel well, who needs to see somebody else for aid in one way or another, whether it's mental, physical, whatever it is, it's for your wellness. So you become a patient. So I'm seeing breathing issues. Whew, yes, okay, breathing issues and patience, so sickness. And then the last thing I got was the government. So I'm seeing that something is unfolding and it is government operated, and I don't think I could get any clearer message that what the government is doing at this point in time, especially when it arrived on 122. So that was that one. So now I am going to look at question number 1. Oh, do you want to do your reveal first for number 1, or?
Yeah, the first card that came out was Union, Reconciliation, Coming Back, Second Chance, and Rebuilding.
Wow. Yep.
And a lot of people genderize these things, but really that's divine masculine and divine feminine that is being reunited within each one of us. It has nothing to do with gender, but I feel like that this is something really, really positive. It's going to have, I mean, there are several times that we talked about how things are going to look really, really scary because of the predictive programming and some of the things that we've taken on board and We just don't believe people when they tell us things, and it's like, a lot of times people have this whole thing of that they're going to go, nah, 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 nah. They're just going to plug their ears and they're going to make noise and they don't want to listen, right?
Yeah.
But this is once this union takes place, there is going to be a rebuilding. And I know it says second chance, but there are also two people there.
Yeah.
That I think is somehow relevant that we're not really totally clear about. But so I don't remember what you had talked about before, but I got butterflies, devotion, can't stop smiling, happiness, and feeling complete. But I also got emotions. And you talked a lot about government. And I think people are going to be very driven by their, and they are right now. They're very driven by their emotions when it
Oh,
comes
yes.
to the government, and they get really polarized. You don't want to hear somebody, you get mad. Somebody says something and you disagree with them, you get really mad. That's probably not going to be in your greatest and highest good or
Right.
anybody else's. So you're going to not hear what's important. You have to stop and listen. You have to be able to let go, right?
Yeah.
What does the butterfly say? Devotion, can't stop smiling, happiness, feeling complete. So even though I feel like that was
It's a release.
we have this, but it's going to be overshadowed by this in and out turmoil. If we're not going to be able to access this when this starts coming through. We might be feeling like a trippy hippie and all is good as gold. And we have this crashing wave come in, and we're like Meshuggah, right? Clashing, we're going to in and out. We're not going
Yeah.
to, let's face it, when we are butterflies, we're pretty sensitive to the wind. I don't know about
Yeah.
you, but I don't really see butterflies hanging around flitting from flower to flower when it's a windy day out. Not going to happen. They're all in
Yeah.
hiding. And that's understandable. So, like with all this government stuff that is going on, and what's interesting, how you phrase that, because there's more than one, right? We say that
Yeah.
there's all these places all around this planet, but
Yeah.
you said government.
Mm.
So I'm not going to say anything more about that.
Yeah, no, that's weird that it came up like that. It's like I just go with what shows itself and then read it later. Because that works for me. That works for me. Anyway, this is what the question is. I like your cards, by the way, and I got some interpretations for it from them as well. So, um, okay. Oh, was that all of them, or you got more?
No, it was just the three, because I mean
Oh,
that when you just had the two questions, and I kind of felt like some of that overlapped, even though you said that this was for government, but this was for something. I kind of felt like it all meshed,
it
right?
it still works. It still works, because we can see that. I mean, okay, you got the butterfly card. To me, showed that this is the metamorphosis. This is the result of the metamorphosis. All right, it is it's out in this. What happens after that? I mean, when it's small, it has to metamorph into another so that it can be released out there into the ether. Well, this is the same as this energy here. We are we are morphing because we are being able to filter all the information that's coming in. We're taking time now for ourselves. There's enough of us doing this work that the ripple effect is happening out there. All right, so now we increase our energy. We increase but we have to also be aware that there's those out there that are aware of what we're doing and the energy that we are generating, and they're going to try to come in for the harvest. But they will, the darker their shadow, the brighter your energy is going on. All right, and this is what's coming down to that photograph. Like when I saw the shadow beings, what I got was the darker the shadow, the more intense the shadow, the size of the shadow, the shape of the shadow, all come down to the reflection of the light on the image. So this is where you see it. So when I'm trying to work this out, I'm over here, and it walked through this room of light because I saw it. It stepped in as a solid being, and as it came into our density, it became a shadow form. So the light was behind it, and this is how it showed itself. As soon as it realized, then it just basically dissipated. So
So
the
that was
door was
interesting that you used the word metamorphosis, and not, I don't believe in serendipity either, but I do have other cards that have butterflies on them. This one, they're very fully formed. They're completely dry. They have no
yeah.
problem going from flower to flower or whatever it is that they're going to be pollinating or sustaining themselves on. I have other cards that are butterflies and they're hanging on to a chrysalis and the wings are still wet and crumpled. And so it's like, and then I have some that's just the chrysalis. So, the chrysalis is the center of that metamorphosis because that's
Yeah.
when you're that caterpillar soup. It's really sounds yucky, it's not comfortable. And this is really important because if we're at this stage where there has been this metamorphosis, it's like a not really a learning to fly, but I think that's where this is that reconciliation and coming back to and it's the second chance thing.
when
And we're going to be challenged by this. We're going to be challenged by
yeah,
these emotions and everything. So it does all kind of blend.
when the couple there that I don't see them as two individuals. I see them as ourselves, where we're coming back into unification of our oneness, our self first, in our awareness of who we are, our masculine and our feminine sides, and going, okay, it's okay to be this way. It's okay to acknowledge the feeling states, the toughy side to the weak side. There is no weak side. There's always growth. It's just growth. We release stuff. We release. It shows up in many different forms, and it comes down to forms of communication with yourself, forms of communication with your environment, the energies around you. So, anyway, I like the unification. With the butterflies, it's not one singular butterfly, it's a group of butterflies. So that's like community, that's unity. They're all flying, they're all leaving at the same time, they're going somewhere at the same time. They metamorphed at the same time. So we're not alone in this process. You're not alone in this process. We're all going through it in one stage or another. And our awarenesses to these different levels are really, really picking up. They're really showing themselves. So for all the craziness that's going on out there, when you change your perception of the reality that you're in and you just sit back and go, wow, this is an incredible journey. Yeah,
Mm.
there's been some shit along the way to get us to this point, but we're here now. We're here now. We don't need to take any of that rubbish with us. It's not ours. We don't need to take any of that rubbish with us. We can dump it and move off. Off, on, up, away, grow, whatever it is you're gonna
Mhm.
do.
Mhm.
I liked your cards, and with the wave, a wave is temporary. You know, that looks like a tidal wave, and you've got all these light beings on the top of it surfing the wave. They're rising up out of it, and they're just coming forward. So that's a wave of knowledge. That's a wave of information. We're waking up to our awarenesses. Yeah, there's some bad floods out there, but this is how we become aware. It's horrible to say it, but when we become aware of what trauma is, it loses its power, right? It loses its strength, and it doesn't matter what they throw at us. We become humble in ourselves. Anyway, moving on for that. So that's a really awesome read. That says to me, with going with what I read on mine, you know, once we get through all of this conflict and the awareness of the betrayal and where it's been coming from, we step back into a deeper, meaningful relationship with ourselves. All right, we care better for ourselves. By caring better for ourselves, we're caring better for those around us because it's frequency. It's frequency. We find better ways to manage. I don't say heal because that's I don't like the heal, but manage is a better, for me it's a better terminology for the stuff, because at the end of the day, for all the fluff that words can offer, there's just some things that cannot be fixed, but they can be managed. And this is the whole stepping into our empowerment. We are we're at that level where we're empowering ourselves. All right. So that's what I was getting from your reading, and from the conflict and stuff. We'll see it for what it is. We won't be the only ones. They don't. It's not going to last long, because they're going to wake up to it. They're going to wake up to it. So with the combination of those cards, I thank you for that. Now I'm going to read that question. All right. What opportunities should I be paying attention to in the near future? This opens space for unexpected doorways. Are there doorways? All right. So I get both. I get the portal. Okay, we were talking about portals today, so I have to say yes to that. And what should you pay attention to in the near future? Well, I would say watch what's going on in your neighborhood. Watch what's going on in your neighborhood. With the reading that I read there, look at what's happening in your local area, and just have yourself prepared mentally and then physically. If you're not calm, if you're not in a calm state, then you're gonna forget something. So, be calm, and just be aware of what's happening in your surroundings. Is what I'm saying. Um, yeah. What do you get, Auric?
And it is like that self-awareness, and it's almost like the staying calm while there's your emotions. And you have that ride, you have that wave that you get to ride. So
Yeah.
even though it might be something that's in and out, clashing like waves, it's not a wave. It's like waves. So you might have waves of emotion. Sometimes, you might, oh, crap, I got up late for work. There's a wave of emotion that's not particularly pleasant. You also might have a wave of emotion that is positive. You could hear about someone having a success in their life. So it's all kind of all part and parcel of getting through. Yes, it's getting through that. The thing is, though, with that union, the union is that stability point. And one of the ways I used to describe it, being in, mental health, is that, we have those waves of emotion, and you could be really manic, or you could be really depressed, and, you could be doing just fine. And the next thing you're way up. So really you have this, a center point that you're going to be between these points. But when you get outside of that, that's when you have to check it and be able to ride those emotions, ride those waves, and realize that you are going to have the ability, you do have the ability to return to center. You have that ability. Oh gosh, didn't we talk about that?
Yeah. Yeah.
talked about getting back to center, and that's the union. And the butterflies are also kind of saying that there's a lightheartedness to it, that it is a choice to have that lightheartedness where you don't have to have that huge dip. You do have the ability to use those wings and get
Yeah.
yourself back to center. I can't remember what I thought she was saying because, me having the American accent and she has the Australian accent. That was Elsa Dillon. I
Oh,
can't
yes.
remember what I thought she was saying at first. It's like, oh, okay, now I know what she's saying. But I'll have to look that up. But anyway, I mean, I guess the idea is when we have that ability, and we all do, we have to use those wings. And sometimes we feel like things are coming from outside of ourselves, but ultimately it's really not. Everything is emanates from us. And that's another aspect of the reunion as well.
When I got the tea leaves last week, it started off with a chicken,
Yes.
a baby chicken with little tiny wings trying to fly. And then when I looked at the middle of it, it was quite interesting because I watched the growth of this chicken learning to fly from chick to the next stage to actually flying. And I was like, wow. So I tilted my cup one more time and the leaves fell down, and what was left was a bird flying away off into the distance. So it was like, wow, that was showing me a growth. We can overcome anything that is in our way. We're going, if it's showing wings and it's showing flight, there's two messages that come in for me. One, we are advancing because as a ground being, we endeavor to fly, don't we? We love to fly. Everybody would love to fly, right? So, ascending is flight, is lift off, is knowledge base, is physical and knowledge base. The other side is visitors coming, arrivals coming, not of this place. So I've got the feather, or I've got the wing, is flight. So something other is coming in, is arriving, something is arriving. Then I'm getting all these portals. Portals are showing up everywhere. The light beams coming to a certain stone that's just been, it was covered, obscured from view. Now it's clear view. It's right there. It's the first bloody thing I see in the morning now, and at night when I close the curtains, and a beam of light shone straight onto it like it was an altar. I wrote a chapter on altars and rituals and behaviors, psychological imprints last night. And then there was the keys and the key keepers. Are you a pawn? Do you see a pawn, or do you see a keyhole? I went through a stage where everybody was giving me keys, literal keys, old-fashioned styles and stuff like this. So the key is an important element. And then you have the throat. So the voice is opening up. This is a channel that is opening up. The forms of communication are opening up. All right, we're stepping into being able to say, hey, no, that's not right. That doesn't sit right with me. There's going to be those out there that they're not going to get these concepts whatsoever. Okay, just what? Yeah, sweet as long as they're not harming you or harming themselves, don't have a problem with it. Let them go and play in their sandpit, and just cross your fingers that they might get it one day. There is a form of community that is growing because we are seeing that divisions are created. Okay, divisions are psychologically created. And when we can see what the motive behind the creation is, then we can reverse it. and that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. So with your wave, it wasn't just a wave washing over and cleaning up the space and all the turmoil that goes with that. It happens fast. It happens fast. So that will also go with the metamorphosis. It's going to happen fast. So that when we start seeing these apparitions and these energy forms moving around us, you can run and hide under the blankets if you want to, or you can say hello. But as long as you're aware that there are energies out there, and if you're not aware of your senses and your forms of communication or dealing with them or the way they deal with, there may be some stumbling stones along the way.
That would not be us.
Oh no! Look, I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right now. Even when a new one shows up, like I'm, I'm now feeling like there may have been an incident where I do vaguely remember them, but not recent. Okay, not recent. Not like what I saw. These were little shadow people, and they were dark shadow, and it looked like they had almost smoke, a black smoke. That what their shadow looked like was all emanating like a smoke sort of. Obviously, it was an energy that I was seeing, and then the green eyes, the green piercing eyes, and I'm like, as soon as I recognized one set of the green eyes, I saw two more sets. And that's when I could, then I like, okay, there's bodies with those eyes. So now there's three of them and one of me. And I'm like, okay, what is it? What's the message? And then I get bang, bang, bang. Hey, you're having one of those moments. You're having one of those moments. And I'm like, okay, I have to be in two places at once. I have to be in two places at once. So it was interesting. And then there is a lot of energies that are coming in that are showing themselves. Um, when it came to the green images and stuff that showed up for me, it was like, this is an energy form. We're not alone. There was a blue orb in it. You're not alone. There's two forms of energy that was in the room with me. And then I've got the telltale signs. Then I've got that picture that I took out, that I saw, and I went click, screen capture. Went out there. There's nothing out there. There's nothing. But for me to see that when I did was showing. You can see a ripple. You can see a veil. That is a veil lifting. I've said for ages that there's more to the sun than a ball of gas. And now it's opening up to see that there's another universe inside it, through it. All right, and something is coming out of it. Oh man, this sounds like crazy talk.
Oh, I mean, there's a couple of people that are taking photo images of what we're calling the sun. And it's interesting, if it's supposed to be a rolling ball of gas, why is it that every time somebody takes a really good photograph of it, you see the same spots in the same exact space in a different time of day, different time of year? So it's not
Yeah,
what we've been led to say that it is. Also, someone's been taking videos of it, and it was like, what the heck was that? And they'll see what looked like craft
yeah,
hovering over it and going into it. It's almost like there's a portal on it. And it's, I don't know if it's something like they were describing as that they were harvesting the energy of what we call the sun. Some people
yeah,
hypothesize that it's plasma, but I think the interesting thing about it is too, is because everybody's a little more open to the idea that everything you were taught in school has not been accurate, right? Not even close. So if you take that in consideration, it's like that's not as far as what they're saying. If you look at
yeah,
the numbers, they're very cultic formulated numbers, and it's a lot closer. And even with some of the other things that we're seeing in the firmament, and some of them are part of what people say this like, oh, it's the sky. It's like, but it's the firmament. And there are things outside of the religious writings that call it the firmament. Firm. It's firm. It's firm. It's what it is. And it's kind of interesting that people just kind of bypass these ideas and they'll kind of turn their nose up at it and criticize you for having these ideas outside of this other religion called science, because that's all it is a belief system based on theory. Well, so is everything else. So
Yeah.
it's, if you really believe in it, you really have to question why you believe something. And if you're seeing evidence yourself, and let's be careful with that too. I think I talked about what we're seeing is not going to be quite as easy to debunk anymore because of all of the technology that they have available. It was easy back in the day, not so much anymore. They're definitely able to dupe us a lot easier, or the masses anywhere. Anyway, if you're not aware of the manipulation.
Yeah.
So just even with just the sun and what you see in the sky, it isn't what I personal opinion, entertainment purposes only. Go do your own research, all those other kind of fun things that people have to say nowadays to keep themselves breathing. That you definitely have to look into this stuff. You have to start questioning things. And once you do, I just got back to that. I don't know if I buried the card yet, but no, it should be right here. This is what popped back into my head.
Yeah.
It's going to be a union. It's going to be a union of people. It's going to be a union of ideas. It's going to be that completed metamorphosis, the butterflies, and the big butterflies are going in the same freaking direction, but there's a few strays out there that seem to have some other things like, nah, we're not on board with that. And they can, that's fine, but you'll figure it out,
Yeah.
right? I don't know.
Exactly.
That's just
Exactly.
me.
All
It's
right,
nine
shall we?
33, 9:33 here, 9:33.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, 133 here. Okay, and it was direction was the last thing I heard. Direction.
I think we
Very.
are headed in the right direction. Um,
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a short gig for us tonight. We are going to do
Okay.
something again Friday, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Absolutely.
I know it's
That's
the
good.
it's the 4th of July here, but we can be as independent as we not want on Independence Day. And just have fun with it. Just have fun with it. So
Yeah.
tell your
Yeah.
friends, tell your neighbors, especially if you want to scare them, we can scare them good.
Yeah.
We can get them,
Absolutely.
get them,
All
get them
right.
connected up.
Well, I've got question two for next time we do it, if you like, and
Yep.
yeah, there's like five other questions there.
Yep.
So
And
I'm
and
sorry I didn't get to everybody's question, but it's a process of elimination.
yeah, it is too. All
Yeah,
right. So yeah, we'll put the contact information in the description box below. And any last words?
thank you all for sharing this amazing adventure, and have fun doing it. Yeah,
Amen,
lots of
sister.
yeah, absolutely.
All right. Ta-ta. We'll see y'all on the flip side.